We have a special guest today, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden in studio, catching us all up on what you've been up to. How you doing, Senator?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You had a town hall in Washington County today, correct? What did you all talk about? What did you discuss?
Well, certainly our discussion about my investigation into the Epstein matter, the follow the money approach. I think that's the only way you're going to get answers. I think Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, isn't really going anywhere. And the history in the United States is running down corruption. You have to follow the money, and there was lots of interest. And people had heard about my article in the Financial Times today where they really talked about the Wall Street banks, which I think completely let the country down and just looked the other way.
Now, on the note, yesterday, you and I were talking. We were talking about the Blazers. You were heading to last night's game with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. We talked ahead of that conversation. What did you two talk about last night? How was the game? How was that conversation?
I think it was just a huge plus all around. I mean, the crowd was so fired up, so pumped. It just really sent a message about what we're all about. I mean, the stadium is all us. You know, this is our history. It's infrastructure, and it's going to be concerts and all kinds of things that are going to be great for the community. And I think we rolled out our Portland best.
He said publicly the bill that passed, which we also talked about, is a good first step in terms of renovating the Moda Center that passed this last legislative session. What, in your mind, still needs to happen in order to get this project or make this a reality?
Well, first of all, he was pleased with what we had done, and I pointed out that the history of these special sessions where you only are there for a short period of time, you don't get major legislation started, and that's what we did. And what we talked about is that we have a long way to go. We know that we have to do scrutiny of all the budgets, and you've got to come up with something so that everybody feels that everybody's going to benefit. And you asked me some questions about that, and I have already begun to develop some ideas.
All right, yesterday you also stood alongside Oregon's Secretary of State, as well as some community groups here in Portland, talking about the SAVE Act. That's the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. Now, the act includes provisions with strict proof of citizenship requirements. It's already passed the House. You say you're fighting against it in the Senate. What does that look like?
What I'm really doing is, for example, educating people on how important vote by mail is. I mean, vote by mail has been a tremendous success in Oregon. I was the first senator elected vote by mail. I'm a Democrat, but the second senator was a Republican, Gordon Smith. And Dennis Richardson was our Secretary of State, very conservative. He basically told Donald Trump he was off base in opposing vote by mail. So we've got a lot to work with, but it's going to be a tough fight. What Donald Trump has basically said is he's not going to do anything else until he gets to gut the system of elections. And what he really wants to do is not something that's about democracy. He wants to call all the shots so he gets the result he wants.
Are you also having conversations with people and voters back at home, potentially preparing should this act become law?
Well, we're not going to let it happen, but we're having lots of important discussions. For example, if you come to one of my town meetings, I've had more than 1,100 of them, 90 minutes, questions for any topic that people want. And I said, look, the reality is we've got to help people with these costs. It may be medical costs, it may be electric costs, it may be housing costs. That's what people are talking about.
Now to the Middle East. You've already voiced opposition to the war in Iran. The president says they're ahead of schedule in this operation. Reports now the Pentagon planning to send up to 5,000 more sailors and Marines to the region. What's your response to these latest developments?
I'm very concerned because the fact is so far at practically every step, the president wasn't prepared. I mean, we read about the Strait of Hormuz, for example. Everybody has known over the years that you're very careful about your preparations there. And I just don't want to see more of our soldiers come back in body bags.
And now, on the note of the Epstein files, you mentioned discussing that at a town hall. It continues to be a topic of conversation. What can you share about the act that you introduced, the Produce Epstein Treasury Records Act? And that was blocked. What's your reaction to that? What are your next steps moving forward?
Well, first of all, the people who blocked it are basically covering up for Trump and for Wall Street, and I get that. But we're just going to keep at it because this is not a blue issue or a red issue. This is all about America. And I'm shortly going to have a plan that says, for example, that if banks and financial institutions like these Wall Street people continue to stall and cover up, there are going to be some consequences.
The files do mention some prominent Oregonians, one of which being your son, who, according to emails in the files, had business meetings with Epstein. What's your reaction to that?
I never talk about my family, but it's clear nobody has been interested in it.
All right. One more thing I wanted to touch base on. There's been a recent bipartisan push regarding Section 230, something that you introduced. It's a 30-year-old piece of legislation. What's your reaction to that? As it was described, it would make people responsible for what they post, not the people who run the platforms. What's your reaction to that potential push to repeal that?
I think that people have talked about it in the past, but they always propose, cures that are worse than the problem. I've always said the key here is to protect the little guy, the person who doesn't have political action committees and doesn't have power, and protect their right to the First Amendment. That's what we've done, and that's why it's been so successful.
Senator, thank you very much for the time.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, thank you.